Hi guys, welcome back to Business School, and this is our second lesson. Remember, I'm Ainsworth McDonald from Econ Infinity.
And I'm Ethel Williams from Econ Infinity, where we unleash infinite potential.
Alright, today we have a little gift for you. We're doing our 2014 past paper questions. So we're going to kick it off right away. And the first question asks us to define certain key terms. So the first one is wants and needs.
Now, what are wants? Now think about it. This iPhone here, or this watch, or my AirPods, do I necessarily, can I do without them? Of course, yes. So wants are things that you can live without. So it is a formal definition, could be things that you desire to have. So you wish that you have them in your potential. However, needs
is something completely different. So look at this shirt right here. I even have a bottle of water. These are things that I can't live without. They're vital for life purposes, even shelter. So things that you can't live without, general necessities, those are needs.
Yes, so the next two definitions are income and wealth. Now what is income? Think about it. When you're working at an organization, whether you invest in some stocks or whatever source of new flow of money that you receive, that is your income. Now if you save that over time, you could use that to build wealth. What is wealth? Have you ever heard the term persons talking about what is the net worth of, for example, Usain Bolt? Now, Usain Bolt net worth is about $90 million. That's its total accumulation of assets. So wealth is real assets. For example, car, house, the monies in your bank account. Those are wealth that you generate for yourself and build for a particular period of time. Which brings us now into our next question. Identify 3 factors that will cause an outward shift in the production possibility frontier. Answer.
Alright, so guys, recall what the production possibilities frontier is. A graphical representation of a two-good economy. Here we have the two goods. We have banana and sugarcane. All the resources are devoted to producing these two goods. So you have to look at what affects resources. Anything that affects the resources in an economy will affect the PPF. So think, what could affect the resource in this PPF? Maybe it could be fertilizer. We have this brand new fertilizer that makes bananas and sugar cane grow faster, so we can get more of both goods. Anything that increase both goods will shift the PPF outwards.
Yes, as the answer has just stated, anything that increases the production capacity or capability of a country will shift the PPF outwards. So as you look from A to B was our original PPF, and a shift outwards of C to D would also be caused by an increase in labor. So if labor increase, that simply means we have more persons working on the banana farm. We have more persons utilizing machinery to work on the sugarcane fields, right? So that also can shift the PPF. And finally, what can also shift the PPF?
Alright, we have research and development. There are new ways that people can find how to do farming practices, methods that farmers can use, especially in this case for banana and sugarcane. They can have new research that boosts the output of both goods. So anything that has to do with research, technology, labor, we see all of these factors that affect resources can shift the PPF outward.
Excellent, thank you for that answer. Now we move into our next question, which is explain one factor that can cause the PPF, the production possibility curve, to shift inwards or move inwards. Now, what could that factor be, Andrew?
Alright, so guys, remember, PPF has to do with all resources in the economy, right? So anything that affects resources will affect the PPF. Now, it has to be something that reduces the resources, right? So one thing that could reduce the resources could be a war. If we have an economy that is in some turmoil, war mashing up like the bridges, the roads, transport links, even the land in which the sugarcane and banana grow can reduce the quantity in the market.
Also, just to give out another example, because you say it asks for one, but we can also use severe flood. Now think about it. Currently, we have a severe flooding happening over regions of the country, right? So what that does is to reduce the yield of, for example, land, which would cut back on the production. It also can reduce the amount of the number of labor that we have in the economy. People can lose their lives. So remember, if the natural resources are depleted or reduced, that will shift the PPF inwards. Of course, on the other side of this episode, we will continue with the past papers and move on to the next segment. Remember guys, it's business school. So stay tuned, we will pick up on where we left off and continue on the other side of this grid. Thank you.
Alright guys, welcome back to business school. Remember me and Ethel were talking about the PPF and we have a question, right? It says that we should use the PPF to show opportunity cost and scarcity and efficiency as well. So if we're going to focus on efficiency, right? Any point on the PPF is an efficient point. So points from A, B, C, D and E, once it lies on the PPF, it's an efficient point. The PPF does not tell you which one of these points to choose. You can choose from any one of them. It depends on your satisfaction, but any point on it is efficient. Now, outside of the PPF at this point, why? It shows that we have scarce resources. We'd love to be there, get more goods and services, but resources are scarce. We can't reach there. We'd love to, but it's unattainable. And any point under the PPF that is inside the PPF is attainable, but is inefficient. Now think about it. Last month, we had an increase in unemployment for Jamaica of 12%. Now we have a lot of idle resources. Now, if you look at that based on the PPF, we see that Jamaica is quite inefficient. We need to employ those resources in some sort of way. Ethel?
Never cease to amaze me. Now, the question also asks us to look at opportunity cost using the PPF. And this graphical example is a tremendous example, because what we see here at point B, the country is consuming 5 bananas and 6 sugarcane, right? It could be kilos, grams, whatever. So yes, they are consuming 5 bananas and 6 sugarcane. Now, imagine that the country needs some more sugarcane. So they would move from point B to point C. In moving from point B to point C, they move from 6 to 8 sugarcane. So therefore they gain 2 sugarcane, but what did they give up? So they moved at point C, they moved from 5 now down to 4. So they have to give up 1 banana. And that's the opportunity cost demonstrated here. To get 2 more sugarcane, we have to give up 1 banana. So the opportunity cost here is 1 banana. Now the question says, use a production possibility frontier, so 1. So it's a CXC question. So you would have to integrate the efficiency and the opportunity cost on one graph, and this would be the graphical representation, right? So from this graph, you would have seen A, B, C, D, they're on the same point. So you'd have stated that, all right, any point here, for example, B is an efficient point. This is an efficient point. C is also an efficient point, right? And the opportunity cost, you will just speak about it just as how I demonstrated. Now, our final question asked us, gave us a scenario: a university graduate receives his paycheck, his first paycheck. Discuss how scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost for the graduate on his first shopping trip to the city. Now, I will dive into this one. I remember Ainsworth's first shopping trip when he received his first paycheck as an adjunct lecturer at the University of the West Indies. Now, His decision was to buy a brand new clocks. He wanted to buy a tour brush for his significant other. He wanted a Rolex watch. What else did he do? He wanted a earpod, right? He wanted so many things, but when you look at his paycheck, it was confined to a few resources. Now, that's scarcity. He has an abundance of wants, right? But the resource he has at his disposal is scarce, which is his paycheck. So with that, he has to make a choice. So because of the scarce resources, he chose, what did he choose to purchase? Oh yes, he purchased the tour brush. So he had to give up the clocks, the earpod, and the other, I don't remember the other one. Yes, but he had to give up those. So choice, that is the choice aspect of it. And finally, the opportunity cost. Now remember, it can be an intrinsic value. So making those choices, he had to give up the clocks, the earphone. Those are the opportunity costs for choosing to purchase the tour brush. So that is how you would approach a question like that and, you know, receive full marks. In the next segment, Ainsworth, what will we be speaking about?
Well, Etel, we will be speaking about economic management, two major policies, fiscal and monetary policy. So stay tuned and we'll dive in deep in both of them. Hi guys, Ainsworth from Econ Infinity, and I want to tell you that 99% of learning is pattern recognition. What I mean by that is you guys have to repeat, practice, get a textbook or exercise book, write out all the definitions, write out all the graph all 10, 15, 20 times. Pattern recognition, remember that, 99% of learning.
Welcome back to Business School. Again, I'm Ethan Williams from Econ Infinity and my business partner,
Ainsworth McDonald from Econ Infinity.
Yes, so we have just gone through a past paper from the CSEC level, and we had promised now to go into our favorite topics as economists. It's fiscal policy and monetary policy, right here?
Right, so these are two policies that we love to look at because we look at two key economic agents. We look at the government and the central bank. And how do they interact in the economy? How do they make policies? All these questions will be answered.
Yes, so fiscal policy, of course, a prime definition is it refers to the spending and taxation decision of government, which in turn affects the spending and income potential of firms and businesses. Of course, there are two types of fiscal policies. You have expansionary fiscal policy and contractionary fiscal policy. It's fancy words, but they simply mean an expansionary policy just simply means the government wants to increase the amount of economic activity, the amount of spending within the economy for an end goal of achieving growth and stability. While contractionary would simply mean that they want to do the opposite of that. They would like to reduce the amount of spending in the economy, also based on the economic activities to increase growth. So, Ainsworth, can you give us a current, a practical example of in the context of Jamaica?
Boy, I wanted to interject you, because I was burning. So we see that econ is real, guys. Look at it. In summer in Jamaica, we had this stimulus spending. Remember when you could apply and get like a 20 grand in your bank account? That essentially is what fiscal policy is all about.
It wasn't 20 grand, it was about 10.
Oh, okay. 10 grand in a bank account, right? That's an example of an expansionary fiscal policy. The government wants to increase spending. You could probably take that 10 grand. I went straight to the supermarket. Honestly, at high-low, I went straight there. So basically, that's an example of an expansionary fiscal policy, where spending is in the economy. We also have contractionary, right? Now, if you look at a contractionary fiscal policy, one is happening right now, in the works. We have the US elections, right? So if it is that Joe Biden wins, everybody's speculating that he will increase taxation for businesses. So it moves from 21% to 28%. What does that really mean? That means that businesses will have to pay more in tax, taking away more money from businesses, taking away money circulation in the economy. Right?
Yes, so that's contractionary fiscal policy. So that's the fiscal side, which takes me now to the central banks. We look at monetary policy. Now, monetary policy refers to the actions of the central bank to influence the price and volume of credit within the economy, which also would increase or impact the saving and earning or investment potential of individual businesses and firms. Also, just as though you have contractionary and expansionary fiscal policies, you also have contractionary and expansionary monetary policies. On the expansionary side, the central bank, but wait, before we get into that, I want to give you an example of monetary policy. So, if the central bank wants to increase the amount of spending in the economy, the amount of money flows in the economy, they will start to increase the money supply using whatever instrument they can. So that is a form of expansionary monetary policy that increases the amount of money in the economy, the amount of credit, investment, etc. in the economy. So that is expansionary. Now think about contractionary policies. Central bank wants to take money out of the economy. Remember, when you have a lot of money in the economy, people can spend more, so that increase the amount of spending, but they want to contract that, they want to reduce that, so they take money. So think about it. As an individual, if you have some friends and they are locked up in this room, right, and there's just $100 in that room, you go to that room and you borrow $50 from your friends. If you borrow $50, you take $50 out of the room, that remains $50 in the room. Now, can that $50 purchase the same amount of goods and services that $100 could purchase? No. So in doing that, when borrowing, you take money out of the room. So see that as the central bank taking money out of the economy through IOUs or bonds, just to reduce the amount of spending in the economy. So that is fiscal and monetary policy, right?
Yes, Etel, and at Econ Infinity we go in deeper. We give you the tools that the central bank use. We give you excess tools that the government use as well.
Yes.
So, guys, tune in next time. We have our riveting next topic that we're going to show you guys. So tune in, stay tuned from Econ Infinity and Business School.